Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing a tournament breakdown for Lake EUFAULA, the fourth stop on the 2021 MLF Pro Circuit season. And man, what a crazy event this turned out to be. What a incredible grind it was, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First off, let's kind of talk about practice and going into the first day of this event. And really all I have to say about practice was it was brutally tough to figure out some sort of pattern and to kind of nail down exactly how I wanted to fish. Going into this tournament, I had spent a little bit of pre-practice time. You know, a lot of people talk about the brush piles on EUFAULA, and EUFAULA is absolutely full of brush piles, and it's one of the main patterns that people tend to focus on during the post-spawn and through the summer months. So that was definitely something that I wanted to spend some time on, and I really thought that I would kind of dedicate myself to shallow fishing after, you know, marking probably 100 plus brush piles during pre-practice. I thought that man, I really want to just focus on my power fishing strengths of shallow. And I figured that EUFAULA would really produce, you know, with shallow patterns, which, you know, in a way I was right. A lot of people ended up doing well in this event up shallow, and I did too in part, but it really wasn't as wide open as I had thought that it was. We had a little bit of a shad spawn going on. There were some areas that it was you know, hotter than others. Some areas didn't have a shad spawn at all. So there was a shad spawn bite, a very early morning you know, window where you could catch some fish on the shad spawn, but it really wasn't that great. And then, you know, once I found out that man, the shallow bite really wasn't all that great, I started running some of the offshore areas, started looking out deeper, and also found that the bite in the brush piles, by and large, was very poor. You know, it was really hard to catch keepers. You'd catch, you know, some small spots, and spots in this event also had to be 14 inches, so that didn't help me. And so I was really worried by the end of practice. You know, we only get 2 days of practice, and I really hadn't stapled anything down. So going into the first day, I knew that I had to continue practicing, kind of junk fish. I had found one area, one creek that seemed to have a good population of fish and had a fairly decent shad spawn bite. The only issue was there was a ton of locals in there during practice, and I knew that it was going to be the same deal during the first day of the tournament. So long story short, I decided to head to that creek to start my tournament in and to hopefully catch a few keepers. So having to kind of scramble midday, I'd have at least a little bit of a cushion. Keeps. That's number 2. After fishing through my starting area and not seeing a tremendous amount of shad spawn and only catching 2 keeper fish, one on the Z-Man snakehead swim jig and one on a 1.5 crankbait, I really wasn't, that excited about my start. I was pretty disappointed to be honest. I really thought that I'd have a couple, at least 3-pound bites from that area. So I knew that I had to kind of mix it up and kind of pick up the pace a little bit. So I ended up running a bunch of different areas. One thing that I'd got, a fairly consistent bite was running, riprap banks, those causeways where the bridges go over some of these creeks, running those with the crankbait. And so I ended up running some of those areas and also fished some docks. And man, by mid morning, almost into noon, I still only had those 2 fish. So I was getting pretty frustrated, and the shell bite just was not paying off for me. So I had decided to go ahead and start running some brush piles. So I ran to an area that I really felt confident in the overall size of the fish. I'd caught some decent fish during practice and also during pre-practice, and so I wanted to start there, which is kind of the southern end of the lake. And so started running some brush piles with a Z-Man Mag Fatties in plum color, and immediately started to turn my day around.
What's that?
Keep on rolling.
Thanks, man. too. Golly. Good. Mag fatties in his face. All right. Now we start catching. Doubt he'll help. Oh, we're getting dialed now. Big fish, big fish. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. 4-pounder, or 3-pounder at least. Mag fatty strikes again. Oh yeah, baby. Yes, we're getting it.
After making one final call off the brush piles with the mag fatties, I didn't get a single bite for the rest of the day. I started running some different areas and just didn't get anything going. And ended up weighing 11 pounds, 10 ounces, which, I mean, after my slow start in the morning, I was pretty happy with it. And it put me right in contention, right where I want to be in that, around that top 50 cut to make the third day. However, I was pretty worried about duplicating it the second day. I'd really kind of burned through those brush piles that were producing. I felt like I had caught pretty much everything in there, at least the ones that were worth catching. And so I was really concerned about day 2. So going into the second day, I had no idea what was going to happen. So this was the breakdown for day 1. So if you want to see what ends up happening on day 2, check out that video as well. It's on my channel. It should be easy to find. And thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see you guys out in the water. Check out day 2.